Welcome to Tactical Truths, the playlist where we bring you the latest military news, tactical analysis, and stories that matter most to our community. Hit subscribe and join us for sharp insights and frontline perspectives. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is the Tactical Truth. Welcome to the Tactical Truth, and this week, well, I might just hit a few nerves. I'm going to go closer to the bone than I've been for a while. And to be quite frank, some people might even get upset by what I say. So there's your health warning from the very start. Right, let's get to the meat of this then. Donald Trump. Like him or loathe him, he is now the President of the United States of America. Our closest allies, it could be argued, okay? And the people who definitely we need to be getting along with. All right, that goes without saying. Now, he's making some quite big splashes in the pond. He's got a lot to say, and he's upsetting certain people. He is addressing the elephant in the room, and he does not give one single beep. You know what I'm saying, don't you? He's made an address to the military this week in which he has ruffled a few feathers, and he has spoke of a few home truths as he sees it, all right? Now, he said there's a Trump way of doing things, and there's a woke way of doing things, all right? His words, not mine. Let's have a quick butchers at him being sworn in and doing his bits and pieces on the stand.
Thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens.
There you go. So quite an audience. He's not gobbing off in his backyard, is he? He's not talking to himself. There's some proper people in that room listening to what this man's got to say.
The golden age of America begins right now.
There you go. The golden age of America begins right now. He is aiming to make some massive changes to the way the whole place is being run. In fact, he's going to turn it on his head, isn't he?
But I had this little clip, and I thought...
Well, judging by that cheer, it seems to have gone down quite well. And judging by the fact that he's in for his second term against the odds, well, that seems to have gone down quite well as well.
You'd find it very interesting. It's the military of the past, let's call it the Trump military, compared to the very woke military that we have now. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Okay, so, interesting there, all right, interesting. He says the woke military that we have now. Oof, okay. I'm not about to sit here and for 1 second begin to say that the whole of the American military is woke, because they have some proper operators over there, some great units, and they do some decent work around this planet, all right? So Trump sort of like, he's branded everybody with that statement there. I don't think he meant to do it, because Trump is massively respectful of the military community. In fact, in a speech not this week, he actually even mentioned the whole system and Pad's wives, the whole lot, all right? And puts them together in what he calls, you know, his most respected, trusted, and loyal people, which they are. The military community is massively behind him, as I see it. But let's have a look at Donald's little video that he put together, which is him trying to explain how he would like to see things against how some elements within inside that system are now. And I stress some elements, because they're not all like this, all right? They're not all like the people that he portrays here. But there is an element of it going on, and he doesn't like it. Bit of alley music to start it off with. It's always good to put a bit of alley music in there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Get the crowd going. Wipe them up a bit, like I mean. Stand them on edge.
You little scumbag! I got your name! I got your ass! You will not laugh! You will not cry! You will learn by the...
You little scumbag! I got your name! I got your ass! Yeah. This, you can see where he's going. The stereotypical, loud, hard drill sergeant, giving it to the troops, turning boys into men. That's the Trump arm.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir! Let me see your war face.
He flips the thing straight on its head. There's not even a transition in that clip. Boom! In he comes. Mr. How shall we call him? Well, he's not as manly as perhaps Donald Trump would like in his army. He's quite the opposite of manly, in fact, isn't he? He's not an image of somebody you'd expect to come kicking your door down and killing you, is he? All right?
Sir, you got a war face? Ah! That's a war face! No.
You'll see my war face. Not today. I have got a war face, yes, but you're not having it today, I've told you. Ah! Stop. Right, here we go.
Let me see your war face! Ah! Bullshit! You didn't convince.
There we go. So, again, hammering this image that, you know, soldiers need to be strong, need to be tough, and when they come through that door, boy, they better make the brown sticky stuff fall out the back of you. All right, because that's what he's trying to do. And in another interview he gives later in the week, he actually says that he wants to create this army that is so fierce. Wars are prevented by the fact that nobody wants to fight them. And I do get that to a certain extent.
Bullshit! You didn't convince me! Let me see your real war face!
Here we go, it's the real war face. It's better, isn't it? I mean, he's got glasses on. He'll probably have to take him off before you have a row with him, but he's doing all right with that war face, isn't he? He's doing all right. Now, the troops of today, the so-called troops of today, this is where he's going with this, and this is obviously somebody fairly recent. If he's still serving, he's still in, he's got the uniform on, but he's on TikTok. In fact, TikTok banned in the USA for a little bit. Now back on in the USA, thanks to Donald Trump and his efforts, all right? TikTok is back, but so is this. Right, not the image. Not the image that he wants associated with his armed forces, and I do get that. Trust me, I'm being a little bit jokey, a little bit piss-takey, but I do get that. That's not the image. That's not the soldier you want to portray coming to do damage in the witching hour, all right? Because it ain't, is it? By the way, because I know people are going to be having a go at me already, I don't give a shit what you do at the weekends. I don't care if you want to dress like that, if you want to be like that. That's entirely up to you and fair play. You can do what you want. You can put it up what you want, where you like, how you want. I don't care. But when you're in uniform, you're a soldier, primarily, all right? A soldier. What you do at the weekend is yours.
You will be a weapon. You will be a...
Yeah, I think, yeah, there's different interpretations of the word weapon, all right? You know what I'm on about, don't you?
You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
I do love that film, by the way. I do love that film. It's got to be one of the best military films out there, isn't it? It's got to be one of my all-time greats, his film.
How to abracadabra.
You can see where I'm going, can't you? You can see where the sort of like... Is it a generational thing? Are people sort of like suggesting that this geezer here is what is required at the sharp end? I can't think for 1 second that anybody would think that this fella here needs to be involved in anything serious. Do you know what I mean? It just ain't, is it? It's not. I don't know. Maybe he is particularly good at his job. I don't know. But, you know, these videos are potentially damaging to the image, especially when, you know, other countries are looking in. And that's, I think, where Donald's coming from a little bit with this. Other nations looking in, the Russians, etc., they must see this stuff. And it portrays a really, really poor image of what your soldiers are about. It's not good. It's not great. In fact, it's poor.
These bitches know I got answers the way I...
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass.
The best part of you went down the crack of your mama's ass. What a beautiful way of words. What a beautiful way of words that man has.
It ended up as a brown stain on the mattress.
A brown stain on the mattress. Oh, what's that? I mean, if I was in a club at Butlins and, you know, that's entertaining me, I live with that. I'm quite happy, do you know what I mean? I'm happy enough about myself to say I can sit there all day, you know, I don't mind watching a man dressed as a bird dancing about doing his bits and pieces, but it should not be associated with the frontline troops of a representative country which is larger than life. It's not good, is it? It's not a good look. It's not, and I totally understand and support what Donald Trump is saying there. Don't want it in the military. Don't want that in the military. At the weekend, though, do what you like. Do whatever you like. If you want to go down and be the drag act in town, well, that's up to you. But just don't bring it into the military or portray yourself as this, that, and the other with it, because it don't work. It don't work. It's not good. Let's have a look at how a squad of Donald Trump's soldiers would really look like. Let's have a butcher's. Let's make our country great again. Private Pile in the middle there. Let me know just who I am. United States Marine Corps. Right, we love that. Right, so he's made a definite statement there. Basically, all this woke, unnecessary BS, which is in the system now, all right, it's got no place in the military. He's gone a little bit further than that because he's actually said that as a country, they will only recognise two genders. And I personally agree with that too. You've either got a cock or you've got a fanny. There can be no sort of in-between grey area with that, can they? Do you know what I mean? And if you're going to... The problems that all this throws up, I want to use this toilet, I want to use that toilet, I want to go here, which block is mine, where do I stay? No, it's a cut and dried thing. You're either that or you're that. And I understand that. I support that. I do support that. I'm not going to make no bones about it. You know, I'm entitled to my opinion. That is what I support, all right? That is what I support. Two genders, all right? Where is the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth genders? There ain't, as far as I'm concerned, all right? There ain't, all right? So I think he's got that right. I'm not going to argue with Donald on that one. The crowd certainly went wild when he played that video. They understood what he was getting at.
So in his speech, the president announced the federal government will only recognize two genders, male and female. So
Here we go. Here's the bit about the two genders.
John Ramos spoke with some transgender advocates who are worried about the message it sends.
Okay, so there's going to be people that can have their arguments to stand up against this, all right? Let's have a listen to what this fella's got to say.
For a long time, the Bay Area has been seen as being at the forefront for gay and, more recently, transgender rights. But now President Trump has made it clear that, in that regard, California is pretty much on its own.
I don't think that he's taking anything away from them. I get that you've got rights. I understand that you've got rights. But on your passport, and for accommodation reasons, and for a whole host of other reasons, there's only two things that go on that passport. An M or an F. Simple, isn't it? Absolutely simple. Keeps it simple. Strips it back. Doesn't mean you're going to be treated any different. If you want to behave in a certain way, you go ahead and you behave in that way. If you want to dress in certain clothes, you go ahead. You dress in those certain clothes. That's entirely up to you. All right? So I don't see what the massive deal is here.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
As President Trump was sworn into office, it was clear that things had changed a lot in the country. But it was in his speech afterwards that he touched on the specifics of his plans.
This week, I will all...
Here we go. So, making America great again, this is how Donald intends to do it.
Also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
And there was one particular group that
I think he's right to do that. Look, when I look at a group of soldiers, regardless of what they are, who they are, I see soldiers. You're judged by your ability of a soldier. I don't actually care what gender you are, all right? I don't care. You can either do your job or you can't do your job. That's the way it is, isn't it? I don't judge you by what you are. So why should you make such a great big deal of it? For me, it doesn't work. For me, it is as simple as you're this or you're that, but primarily, you're a soldier, all right?
was aimed at.
As of today, It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
I think that's going to be a popular decision. I really do.
Is that frightening to you to hear that?
It is frightening to me. We know that is not fact because we exist.
Right. It's frightening. He is not frightening. He is not expected to be on the front line of soldiering. So for me, you can do what you like, son. You can be whoever you want. All right? But when it comes to an official piece of paper, you have to be what you are. It's just basic accountancy.
And we're here.
Chase Overholt works for Positive Images, a Santa Rosa-based nonprofit that offers support for young people struggling with gender identity issues. Chase believes the Trump campaign attracted people who were angry about aspects of their lives that they could not control.
And they're being pushed down by systems that they can't control and they might not be able to name. So instead, it's easier to find someone and vilify them in a way that makes you feel like you've got a leg up on somebody at least. And in doing that, they feel a little bit more powerful.
Beth Bourne would probably disagree with that. Over the weekend, she traveled from Davis to San Francisco.
I think he's completely missed the boat there. I don't think anybody cares. Do you know what I mean? I think, especially when it comes to the military, what matters is the image of the military being portrayed out. Okay, and those TikTok videos are damaging. They are. I don't care. All right, there you go. I said it.
To join a small group of Trump supporters at a large anti-Trump rally in the Mission District. Bourne, who usually supports Democrats, said it was the transgender issue that changed her mind.
And so for the first time, I've been voting red because it's actually the Republicans that want to protect girls and women from the idea that anybody...
Hit the nail on the head, didn't he? Why should you be able to do that? And whether it comes down, and we could have a whole other debate about sports and all that sort of stuff. We've all seen it, the powerlifters, the boxers that are banging people out. You're a bloke. Do you know what I mean? It's wrong. We know it's wrong. It's the emperor's clothes, isn't it? We're all sat there going, it's wrong. But nobody wants to address the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to stand up. And finally, Trump's had enough. And that's what's happened. It's gone so woke. It's been pushed so hard. It's been slammed in your faces that now people are actually going, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
A transgender woman, which is a man. This should not be a political issue. Girls, boys.
And that's another thing where, kids are being sent mixed messages about what they can and can't be. You are what you are. You can be how you want to be, but you still are this. You're a boy or a girl. All right? Now, you can argue you can have corrective surgery and all that sort of stuff. Well, that's fine. If you've had the corrective surgery, if you've gone all the way, then that's another conversation for another day. And don't for 1 second think that I totally agree or disagree with that, because I've got my point of view on that, but it's not for today, all right? It's the transgender thing. It's pretending to be something you're not. It worries a lot of people. You don't want to be sat in the female toilet listening to somebody grunt, fart and slap their cock off the pan, do you? Do you know what I mean? It ain't right.
They're being harmed by this ideology.
But it's not just a disagreement over ideology. Noreen Farrell with Equal Rights Advocates in San Francisco thinks the president's words will encourage hostile environments for any...
I don't think it creates... I think they're overthinking this hostile environment. They're overthinking how many people are actually looking in. If you don't want me to see what's going on, stop shoving it in my face. Leave me alone. I don't care. As I've said before on numerous occasions and 3 or 4 times on this podcast already, do what you want in your own time. Do what you like in your own space. But don't keep hitting me around the face with a kipper, because I don't want it. Do you know what I mean?
Anyone seen as being abnormal in schools or at work.
I don't think it is an exaggeration to say that these kinds of orders will institutionalize.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. It doesn't need to be mentioned. It shouldn't be mentioned. It doesn't need to be talked about. The rules are the rules. Adheres to the rules. And like I said, at the weekend, do whatever you like.
Discrimination in the workplace, and not just for federal employees or employees of federal contractors. It does provide a green light, I think, for other workplaces and schools and students. And I think the legal ramifications could be very dire and very widespread, not just for the 26 million people who work for the federal government.
It's still unclear what the executive orders will mean in practice, but opponents say they're already gearing up for the fight.
At this point, these are just words. Donald Trump is not the king. He does not get to dictate what happens.
Hey, Tom, guess what? He does, because he's the president. Well done, Tom.
In this country from on high, and will take all the necessary steps to address it and prevent him from harming
He's not out there to harm LGBTQ people. He's out there to protect people against, like I've said, this lavatory mistaken stuff and all the rest of the stuff that goes on with it, all right? He's only saying a spade's a spade, a square's a square. Let's get them in the right order, and then how you want to act after that is totally up to you. So I think, again, you're getting a little bit excited, all right? Fact is fact. You are what you are.
LGBTQ plus people once we have more of those details.
The gender rights group say California can create its own safeguards to protect against discrimination.
One of the best ways to defend against discrimination is to stop shoving it in everybody's face. Shut your mouth and go about your fucking business, and then there's no problem, is there?
But federal policies could still have some impacts. The director of the nonprofit in Santa Rosa says they are already planning to get no federal funding for the next 4 years.
Right, so in summary, where should we go with this? Donald Trump, he's made a massive splash in the pond. He's announced his gender stuff, which I do actually genuinely believe is right. There are only two genders, male or female. Look between your legs. If you've under any illusions as to what you are, a quick pat down should sort yourself out. You'll understand what it is. How you want to act and how you want to behave further to that will sort of like dictate how you conduct your life. That's got nothing to do with me. I don't give a shit. If you want to dress up like a woman and dance around at the weekends or put stuff on TikTok, that's up to you. But don't bring it to the workplace with you. Do you know what I mean? Don't be. So all he's trying to do really is create an armed forces where you're looked at as soldiers, which is what you are. All right? So there you go. Stop getting excited. Shut up.